I heard a noise, footsteps in the hall outside my bedroom, which alarmed me because I lived alone. I sat up and I looked, and my friend Sue walked into my bedroom. Not a ghostly apparition, but a real person as close as you are to me right now. She saw me and she smiled, and then she started to walk around the end of my bed, and she spoke.
A few days later, he called and said, I can do this. I can really do this. I can build that car. I said, really, Dad? That's fantastic. He said, yeah. I located the parts all over the country. I wrote them all down. I know what I have to get. I know who I have to get them from. There are people here in my community that can help me to do it. Fantastic. The guy next door is out of work. He has nothing to do. He can work with me as much as he wants. Fantastic. So when are you going to get started? Well, there's one problem. What's the problem, Dad? Do you know how much this thing is going to cost?
Almost 30 years later, something happened. I saw his name again. It popped up on LinkedIn, and I said, oh my God, I have to go and find this guy. So I looked him up on Facebook, found him, and he immediately accepted my friend request. And my heart just skipped a beat. We ended up talking the next day and decided that we had to get together. We spent 3 romantic days in New York City, and all of a sudden I felt like there was a part of me that was missing that was filled again. So my heart was full again. He came back into my life.
And so here I am, scrubbing and cleaning, and all of a sudden, boom! The oven door rattles. The pots on top of the stove rattle. The house rattles. The dishes in the cabinets go ping! And I turn around, and the eye of Sauron is staring at me out of the oven. There is this burning ball of flame inside of my oven, and in the middle of it is a black blue eye staring out at me.
She turned out to be Jim's wife. A couple of years later, they actually got married. That night, if we didn't make that right instead of that left, if I would have turned around and made that left, we wouldn't have met her, he would have been married, we wouldn't have been in that house in the Sierra Mountains because it was someone that she knew. None of us would have been there that night. So, it makes me think all of these decisions that we sit there and we're so worried about our entire lives. Should I leave this job? Lose that job? Well, that's happened too, but anyway, that's another story. Should I leave this job? Should I leave that woman? Should I do this? Should I do that? A lot of times it really doesn't matter what our choice is because the results are going to be the same. It's those small decisions that make the big, profound difference.
They were not supposed to learn how to read and write. They're not supposed to come up in society because the Hindi society says, this is the caste, and you will be staying in your caste system, then you are a good person. And if you belong to the lowest caste, it's bad for you. But you have to stay in your caste. These boys would always be poor. They would always be lower class people. And when they get married one day, they would, create children who would not ever learn how to read and write. But our 2 boys now have a chance to get out of poverty. They're learning how to read and write. They have a father and they have a mother.